Yo, 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 yo. What's going, guys? Hooping news and updates, man. Today, this is episode 4 of the Hooping News Show, man. Hooping News Update Show, man. And today, my God, man, we got a lot to talk about today, man. There's so much going on around the NBA right now. Um, Two teams got sent home last night. Patrick Beverly acted like a fool. And by the way, I apologize for the fan. I mean, where I live, it's a million degrees, so I need it badly. So I apologize, but we'll get through it. It'll be all right. So, yeah, a lot to unpack today around the NBA, man. A lot, a lot happening. A lot going on. Just a lot of crazy. Just Darvin Ham got fired today. Like there's so much going on right now around the league. It's pretty crazy. So I think I'm gonna. Well, let me see if I can get more people in here before I start officially. Try to get some more people up in here real quick. I'm gonna send the link. There we go. All right, I sent the link. Uh, what's going on, everyone? We got a lot to talk about today, man. This show's gonna be wild. A lot of shit that we need to get into. A lot of shit that we need to talk about. And for new people coming in, again, I apologize about the loud noise. It's my fan where I live. It's 100 million degrees out, so I need it. Uh so let's. I guess we should really kick it off with the biggest news of the day, and that's Darvin Ham getting fired by the Lakers. I guess that's how we should kick it off, right? Um, Here are my thoughts on it. I think it was a good move by the Lakers to fire Darvin Ham. I don't think he was the right coach for that team. I think he needed to go, and I think he needed to go. But they should also get rid of Rob Pelinka because Rob Pelinka is the one that he's the one that hired Darvin Ham. B, he's the one that made that horrible Russell Westbrook trade. And C, when he traded Russell Westbrook, that wasn't even a good deal either because that deal literally gave Minnesota Mike Conley when the Lakers could have gotten Mike Conley themselves. You know what I mean? But instead they gave Minnesota Mike Conley, which in turn now Minnesota is going to be in a war with the Denver Nuggets, and that move was one of the main reasons why. So the way I look at it, man, I just think that the Lakers firing Darvin Ham, it was a great move. I think it'll help them. Now, in terms of like who I think they should hire, I gave you the three names I thought they should hire last stream. I believe I said Ty Lue, Coach Bud, Mike Budenholzer, and Terry Stotts. You know what I mean? Now, there's a lot of reports about JJ Redick. What's going on, bro? What's up, man? What's up, JT? I think that would be a horrible move, and let me tell you why I think JJ Redick would be a terrible move. Because JJ Redick hasn't proven it. I mean, like I just don't think that JJ Redick will be a good head coach in the NBA. I don't believe he's going to be that good. You know what I mean, I think that'd just be another guy to where that the players could push around per se. You know what I mean, like I just I don't think that's what a contended team needs. I think if you're JJ Redick, like I'm trying to go to a younger rebuilding team where I could build up with the team. Um, so like I think that JJ Redick would be a horrible hire for the Lakers. I don't like that at all. That's being reported. I also seen Kenny Atkinson. I think Kenny Atkinson would be a good hire for them. I think Kenny's a good coach. So I like that too. But yeah, man, if it's JJ Redick, that's a failure. You know what I mean? Like I think JJ Redick would be a horrific hire for the Lakers. Like I hate that. I think that'd be Steve Nash 2.0. Remember when Steve Nash was the head coach of the Brooklyn Nets? I think that'd be a disaster waiting to happen if he gets that job. Which you know what, he could prove me wrong. I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, like he could prove me wrong, but I don't think he's going to. I mean, I don't believe in JJ Redick as a head coach. I mean, like I don't like that for the Lakers. But they fired Darvin Ham. I think it was a good move. We'll see who they hire. It just got reported now that they fired their entire coaching staff. So yeah, they're really shaking that up, man. I just think that yeah, I like the move. I like them shaking the whole thing up. Now, who they hire, we'll see. But if I had to take a guess, I'm gonna say they hired JJ Redick. I don't like it. I don't think it's a good hire for them. Like I would completely hate that for them. But yeah, I think that's actually who they're gonna hire because at the end of the day, they're gonna do whatever LeBron James wants. And you could see that LeBron James is JJ Redick have that podcast. So I wouldn't be shocked if that podcast was set up for JJ Redick to eventually be the head coach of Los Angeles Lakers because LeBron. One thing about LeBron plays chess. I mean, LeBron's a chess player. So I wouldn't shock me if LeBron did this as a tactic to get JJ Redick the upper hand to be the head coach of the LA Lakers. It wouldn't shock me. It wouldn't shock me because why did LeBron and JJ Redick do a podcast out of thin air? I mean, like out of nowhere, I was suddenly there and doing a podcast together. Huh. If JJ Redick gets the Lakers job, then it makes sense. You know what I mean? LeBron was clearly getting him groomed and ready for that job with the Lakers. So we'll see what happens. What's going on? I get boards. What's up, man? Who I think wins between the Cavs and the Magic tonight? I think Orlando will win. I think every home team wins this series. So I think Cleveland will win Game 7, but I think Orlando will win the night. But yeah, man, the Lakers, they got a lot of decisions to make because D'Angelo Russell's a free agent. What are they going to do with him? They're probably going to let him go. But who knows? Maybe the new head coach likes D'Angelo Russell, and maybe the new head coach wants to keep him. So we'll have to see. I could see them making some other changes to the roster. The other day, I made a video stating that I thought that Trae Young would be the Lakers' number one target, and I still stand by that because even that same video, I did say that I thought Darvin Ham would get fired. So I think Trae Young will probably end up being a Laker. That's my gut feeling about it. Like, again, if they hire JJ Redick and trade a bunch for Trae Young, like I don't think those moves really do anything for them. I mean, like I think it's a lateral move at best, but I could see them doing that. Like I could really see them making them two moves. And to be honest with you, if you have LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and Trae Young, and then like the rest of the roster is minimum players, like what are you? Like I just don't know how good that team will actually be. You know what I mean? Like, be honest with you. And then JJ Redick, a guy that's never coached a day in his life, like I'm not a fan. I want to be a fan of either that moves. Like I don't like it. I think it'd be bad move. Like I'm not on board with that. I think the Lakers should hire a veteran head coach. Try to do a sign and trade with D'Angelo Russell. Put some good role players around. Call up Chicago and see if maybe you could do like an Alex Caruso trade. Maybe you could take Zach LaVine on too. Maybe. But that's what I would do. I would try to go get guys like an Alex Caruso. You know what I mean? Try to get some tough two-way players. You know what I mean? Instead, it's around the roster with good role players around LeBron James and Anthony Davis. That's if I was running the Lakers. That's what I would do. I would be far more interested, especially with the way the new CBA is with the salary cap and stuff. I'd be way more interested in doing that because the Phoenix Suns showed you the big three model, unless like you're getting like perfect, like unless the pieces fit perfectly, like the big three fits perfectly, it's not going to work. I mean, it's just not going to work because the way the new salary cap is constructed, you would have the three guys on the roster, and the rest of the guys would be minimum players. You know what I mean? It's just like, okay, you better hit on the minimum signings if you do that. So, last thing I'll say about the Lakers, that fire Darvin Ham was a good move. I think they should fire Rob Pelinka too because Rob Pelinka has made mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake, and I don't know how Rob Pelinka still has a job with the Lakers too. As far as I'm concerned, I think that's crazy that he's still employed by the Lakers. But I mean, it doesn't sound like they're firing him. So I mean, we'll have to see what happens. But yeah. Darvin Ham fired, good move. I think they should, like I said, hire a veteran coach. Even if it's a veteran coach that's never won a championship before, just get someone with some coaching experience. You know what I mean? Like, why, after seeing Darvin Ham, why would you want to hire another rookie head coach? I just don't understand that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't get the concept of it. But we'll have to see what they do. But yeah, good move by the Lakers to fire Darvin Ham. Now let's dive into the Milwaukee Bucks. We're going to talk about them. And here's what I think is going to happen with the Milwaukee Bucks. Well, first of all, let me address this. Patrick Beverley, he threw a basketball at fans, and then he got into an altercation. I wouldn't call it an altercation, but he basically kicked the reporter out of his media scrum after the game last night, which, I mean, like, come on, like, it is what it is with that. I mean, he was telling, I think it was a female reporter, like, that, like, if you're not subscribed to my podcast, then get out. I mean, I think that's basically what it was, which, I mean, like, you got to be professional, but it's been reported now over the past, like, hour or so that Patrick Beverley was doing that to reporters all year long, that he was basically kicking reporters out of his media scrimmage when they weren't subscribed to his podcast. So, I mean, it did happen with a female, so I guess that's why it came to light more than those other situations, because those other situations, it was probably male reporters that he was talking to like that. So I guess that's why it came to light more. But yeah, Patrick Beverley, and then he threw the ball at the fan. You just don't do that. You don't do that if you're Patrick Beverley, because what you're doing, you're setting yourself up for a massive suspension. Because, like, and then it got reported by Schaubs that all the guy said was 1, 2, 3 Cancun. And if that's enough for you to throw a basketball at somebody, as far as I'm concerned, like bro, like, what are you doing? I mean, what in the hell are you doing? Like what are you doing? Like you gotta be smarter than that. I mean, because you're gonna get suspended for shit, man. They might suspend you for half the season for that or something like that, man. You know what I mean? It's what were you thinking in that moment? And sure, can the fans say nasty shit? Yeah, but you know what? That's why you have security there. You have security. If they're saying something crazy, you talk to the security, and the security will get them out of the building. You know what I mean? Like, you don't fucking fling at basketball or anything. Because, what you also did, Patrick Beverley, is you set yourself up for a lawsuit. Because that wouldn't shock me. The people that hit that basketball, it wouldn't shock me if they sue you for like injuring them. They might come up with some bullshit injury and sue you, because they have a legit case because you whipped the basketball at them. So, like, as far as I'm concerned, Patrick Beverley just set himself up for that. I mean, he just totally set himself up for that. Like, just pure stupidity by him to do that. It was just stupid. Absolute, just, man. Just the stupidity by Patrick Beverley. That was stupid. That's what the fans want you to do, because the fans will be like, yeah, I got a reaction out of this guy. And then two, like I just said like a minute ago, they could sue you. It's just, and then you're gonna suspended for half the season? Because that's probably what's gonna happen. You're probably gonna get suspended for half the season for that, at least. They're gonna drop the hammer on you, because some people on TV are saying, oh, it's like Malice in the Palace. Now, I think that's insanity, because people actually went up the stands and punches were thrown. So, I mean, like, I don't think it was anything like that. But still, you threw a basketball at fans. I mean, they're going to drop the hammer on you. I mean, I know, it was soft by him, man. All the fans said was 1, 2, 3 Cancun, or 3, 2, 1 Cancun, or whatever the hell it was. I mean, it was nothing. I mean, he didn't, like with Shaw's report, he didn't insult him or anything like that. Like, he didn't say anything crazy. That's all he said. And that's normal trash talk. I mean, that's just the fan being fun. I mean, but Pat Bev, he's an emotional player. It is what it is. He's dirty too. He's a dirty player. He's like Draymond Green. You know, hilarious thing about this, I seen Draymond Green talk about this. And Draymond Green has a lot of audacity to talk about this, as far as I'm concerned. Draymond Green's like the last person that should be commenting about this, as far as I'm concerned, because Draymond has a lot of skeletons in his closet too. So, I mean, I think that was pretty stupid by Draymond. You're devastated by losing Phil Handy. Yeah, that's a tough loss. I mean, but that just shows you that the Lakers are dead serious, man. They want to completely reset the culture. That's what that shows you. But you got to be careful with that, because I think Phil Handy, I think that's LeBron's guy. I mean, like, that's like LeBron's favorite coach. So you better be careful by dropping Phil Handy. I mean, but I think a team will definitely pick him up in the offseason. So, yeah, you're right. That was, pretty devastating losing him for the Lakers because that was LeBron's guy. And could that mean pure speculation? Could that mean that the Lakers are actually bracing for LeBron James to leave the Lakers? Who knows? Because again, that was his favorite coach. So, yeah, Anthony Davis' favorite coach too. I mean, yeah, man. A lot of people actually thought that Phil Handy was going to take over for Darvin Ham after Darvin Ham got fired. I mean, there was a lot of people saying that, Phil Handy's going to be the Nets head coach. And if them let go of Phil Handy, that just tells me that they're dead serious on resetting the culture there with the Lakers. So we'll have to see what comes of that. Now, I talked about the Patrick Beverley thing. Now let me talk about the Milwaukee Bucks, man. The Bucks are an old roster. The Bucks need to shake it up a little bit as far as I'm concerned. Now, I think they should keep Lillard and Giannis because, to be honest with you guys, Dame and Giannis didn't really give up. Giannis and Dame didn't really play that much together this year, so I think they'll run that back one more year. Now, do they keep Chris Middleton? That's the question. Do they keep Brook Lopez? Do they keep Bobby Portis? Do they keep them guys? Because I'm like, man, like if you keep them guys, it's like you're just running it back, and the roster's just getting a year older. So what I think the Bucks should do is I think the Bucks should honestly trade Brook Lopez and trade Bobby Portis and get younger around the margins. You know what I mean? Because the Bucks are just too old. You know what I mean? They're just too old. They're unathletic. I mean, they're slow. You know what I mean? It's just a old roster. Yeah, Portis balled out, but at the end of the day, Edwin, they need defense. Bobby Portis is a really good offensive player, but Bobby Portis is a horrible defender. So you need to decide. We got enough offense with Dame and Giannis, so let's go out and let's get a defender for Bobby Portis. That's why at the trade deadline, Edwin, if you remember correctly, the Bucks were trying to trade Bobby Portis for Grant Williams, and I know everyone laughed at that on the surface, but like Grant Williams is a good defender. I mean, he could hit corner threes. I mean, so that's why they were thinking like, okay, if we could turn Bobby Portis into a good defender and a guy that could hit some occasional threes, you know what I mean? Be like, yeah, let's do that. Portis offensively, sure. Yeah, sure. Al Horford, but Al Horford's like 5 times the defensive player that Portis is. I mean, that's what people got to remember on the defensive end. I mean, Bobby Portis is a cone. You know what I mean? Like, Bobby Portis is not good at being a defender, and he's not a great rebounder either. And Brook Lopez is just old. I mean, Indiana was hunting him in the pick and rolls in this series. I mean, Indiana was trying to get him in as many actions as possible because they wanted to go right at him, and they flew right by him when they were getting to the rim. So I think the Bucks need to shake up the roster. Obviously, like Dame, I think it'd be really hard to trade Damian Lillard, to be honest with you guys, because that contract that Damian Lillard got is nasty. You know what I mean? Like he's gonna be making like $60 million when he's like 38. You know what I mean? Like it's a nasty contract. It's a nasty contract. You're right, Edwin. He's a solid role player. You're right. He's a solid role player at that age. You're right. All right. But still, I would move off him because you have enough offense with Lillard and Giannis, but you need to get some defensive guys around them. Even if they're not that great offensively, you can make up with that by having Dame and Giannis. Like that's why I mean Grant Williams. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, is Bobby Portis a more talented individual player than Grant Williams? Sure, he is, but what Grant Williams gives them fits the Bucks better than what Bobby Portis does. You know what I mean? Like that's just the way I'm looking at it. So I would move off him. And then their bench, man, they got to get rid of the bums on their bench. They got to get rid of Jay Crowder. They got to get rid of Pat Connaughton. I mean, those guys got to go, man. They have some bums on that bench. I mean, and Patrick Beverley, shit, they want to bring him. This dude, Patrick Beverley, probably got himself suspended for like at least half the season for what he did. So, I mean, the Bucks, man, they got to shake that team up a little bit. Now, I'm not saying trade Giannis or Dame and even Middleton. I mean, if you want to keep Middleton, fine. But like, uh but what was I saying? Oh yeah, even if you want to keep Middleton, but still Middleton is injury prone. You know, it's like do I keep want to running this risk with Middleton every year of him getting injured? I mean, Chris Middleton played really well in that series. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he didn't. He was probably the Bucks' best player in that series. But at the end of the day, he's injury prone. You said, is Charles Lee a good coach? I think he's a great coach. I'm very happy with him as the Celtics' main assistant coach. And as far as I'm concerned, if no one wants him, great. I mean, and the Celtics get to keep him. I would love that. I mean, Charles Lee's a fucking fantastic coach. I think he'd be a great coach for any team in the league. Especially for a young team like the Charlotte Hornets or something like that. I think Charles Lee would be really good for that type of team. But no one wants him. I'm fine, more than fine with no one want him because the Celtics get to keep him. Man. Bucks looking cooked for the future. Honestly, guys, whose future is like more cooked? Be honest with you. Like, here, I'm gonna put a poll. Dude, I don't. Whose future? Hold on. You can do this fun shit in the chat now where you can create a poll. I'm gonna create a poll in the chat for you guys because that's a great question. When I'm gonna create a poll in the chat. Just give me 1 second here. Let's do this. Let's see. Did that go through? Yes, it did. Whose future is more cooked, guys? The Suns' future, the Clippers' future, and the Milwaukee Bucks' future? I want to see this. I mean, everyone vote on that pool, man. Suns, Clippers, Bucks. For me, I think it's the Phoenix. Guys, actually, more I think about it, I think it's the Clippers' future that's cooked because the Clippers, like, if Paul George leaves the Clippers, let's say, who's given up significant assets for Kawhi Leonard at this stage of his career? Like, who's doing that? Like seriously, who's given up significant trade value for Kawhi Leonard? Like with his injury history, with his you know what I mean, like lack of desire to leave LA type stuff like that. Like he just signed a massive extension, so that extension could look very shaky in the future because Kawhi can't stay on the court. Kawhi doesn't really have any. Kawhi has value on the market, but Kawhi's value, like, I don't think the Clippers would get as much as they think they would in a Kawhi trade. I really don't. I don't think they get that. I don't think they would get a ton. Now, you're right, Edwin. For Devin Booker and Kevin Durant, the Suns would get massive hauls for both of them guys. And Bradley Beal, not really. Bradley Beal, nah, they wouldn't get much for Bradley Beal. Hey, he's a no trade clause, which the Wizards, man, I don't. Whoever gave Bradley Beal Bradley fucking Beal a no trade clause, bro. That GM shouldn't have a job. Like, who in the flying freak would give Bradley Beal a no trade clause? Like, really? Like, are we just handing out no trade clauses to like candy now? Like, it's like for real though. You know what I mean? Like that was I always thought that was stupid. Uh, but yeah, the Suns can't move him because of that. I forgot about that. But yeah, they could definitely get massive hauls for Devin Booker and Kevin Durant. So and then with the Bucks, dude, the Bucks could trade Giannis. The Bucks would probably get like 6 first-round picks, and they probably get like half a team. Honestly, I think there's some NBA roster that'd probably trade like 90% of the roster for Giannis, plus all their draft picks. You know what I mean? To be honest with you guys. So the Bucks' future, if they traded Giannis tomorrow, their future look really bright. I mean, just based off trade assets and draft picks. You know what I mean? So yeah. And then Damian Lillard, I mean, they could probably if I guarantee you this, if Milwaukee called Miami and say, "Hey, Miami, can you give us Rozier, Tyler Hero, Hodges Jr., and Jovic, and some draft picks for Damian Lillard? I think Miami would do that because I think Miami's desperate, and I think the Heat want to win. You know what I mean? So if the Bucks did that, I mean, they could still get that type of package for Dame. I think. I think if they called Miami tomorrow, I think Miami would make that trade. I really think they would because the Heat are desperate. The Heat are very, very desperate, and I can't wait to do my Twitter segment because there's some shit about Jimmy Butler that's out there. I mean, like the Miami Heat could be in some serious trouble with Jimmy Butler. There was some reports about him today that I seen, so that'll be fun to get into. But yeah, talking about them, okay, I talked enough about the Bucks. They need to do. Let me talk about the Philadelphia 76ers because they got bounced in the first round yesterday by the New York Knicks. And listen, man, another year and another year of Embiid can't make it far in the playoffs. He can't get out of the first and second round of the playoffs. And um, I do. You know what? Joel Embiid, he went out good. I mean, Joel Embiid didn't go out sad this time. You know what I mean, which is like the first time in a long time that Joel Embiid hasn't went out sad in the playoffs, but he didn't. Joel Embiid actually played outside of Game 5. Joel Embiid had a pretty good series actually, and he played well. Now Tyrese Maxey had a great series. I mean, did Maxey play good last night? He played okay, but for the most part, Maxey had a great series. But here's what killed the Knicks. Here's what killed the Philadelphia 76ers as far as I'm concerned. Just some mental mistakes that they made at the end of games, the game 2, and that cost them. And then them not be able to score in the fourth quarter of game 4, that cost them too. There was just some stuff that cost the Sixers the series. Because as far as I'm concerned, yeah, I picked Philly to win the series. I still felt like Philly was better than them. I just think that Philly made a lot of dumb mental mistakes in that series that cost them the series. To be honest with you guys, but I still feel like Philly was better than them. They just, hey man, that's how the cookie crumbled. I mean, the Sixers just, hey, I mean, it is what it is. But I still feel like Philly was better. Now let me talk about this, right? Tobias Harris. Tobias Mother Trucking Harris. You get paid. Let me look up Tobias Harris's salary real quick. Let me look it up real quick because this is outrageous. This is sad. This is fucking sad. By the way, this is who they chose Jimmy. This is who they chose Jimmy. This is who they paid instead of Jimmy Butler back in the day. Let me pull up this fool's salary. Let me pull this up real quick. Tobias Harris salary. Let me pull this up real quick. Okay. Tobias Harris makes $39,250,000. $39 million this year for Tobias Harris. 0 points. 0 fucking points. $38 million. $39 million, excuse me. Tobias Harris. You gotta be kidding me. Like you actually can't be serious, bro. Like that was, dude. Tobias has been like that his whole career. Tobias is a playoff dropper. He drops in the playoffs, man. I mean, it's fucking crazy. Like Tobias Harris, how bad he was in that game yesterday. I mean, and for him to make that much money and do that in a playoff game, man. A report came out that he's probably going to end up leaving the Philadelphia 76ers. As far as I'm concerned, the Philadelphia 76ers should drive his ass to the airport. As far as I'm concerned, get his ass in the airplane. You know what I mean, say bye. You know what I mean, get his ass in the jet, plane, whatever the hell, and get him out of there because he robbed the 76ers blind with that contract. And again, whoever the GM was that gave Tobias Harris that contract should be fired. I mean, because that was, dude. So Jimmy Butler's right when he says Tobias Harris over me. Tobias Harris over me. I mean, because it was between Tobias Harris and Jimmy Butler back then. You know, like Philly was debating, who are we going to pay? Are we going to pay Tobias Harris? Or are we going to pay Jimmy Butler? And they paid Tobias Harris instead of Jimmy Butler. And now, I can't wait to get into this. I think it's perfect time. But let me talk about Philly a little bit more. What I think they should do this offseason. They should. I mean, honestly, it's tough with them because they got degree deodorant. Ward, you're something else, man. You're truly something else, man. Fuck, it's fucking degree deodorant. Like, what the fuck? Okay, getting back to what I was saying about the Sixers. The Sixers this offseason, they got like what $64 million in cap space. So I don't know. I mean, like, who are even the top free agents? You know what I mean? Like Paul George, sure. We could sign Paul George, like that'd be fantastic for them. But I don't think there's any guarantee that they're going to land Paul George. You know what I mean? So if it ain't Paul George or if they don't sign anybody's, I think they should blow it up. I think they should trade Joel Embiid. If, here's the caveat, if they strike out again on trading for a star player. If they don't get a star player, sign a guy like Paul George or Pascal Siakam is technically a free agent, but I don't think he's going to leave the Pacers. So, yeah, if they can't sign Paul George or if they can't trade for a star, I think they should move Embiid because I'm looking at it. Okay, Embiid has knee problems. Okay, he's proven time and time and time again that he can't stay healthy in the playoffs. If you're Philly, why not move off Embiid? Why not get a shit ton of picks and a boatload of players and cash in and rebuild around Tyrese Maxey? I mean, why not do that? As far as I'm concerned, I think that'd be a good move for Philadelphia. If, I'm going to say it again, keyword if, they can't land another star player to put with Maxey and Embiid. Because they run it back with the same roster, the same thing's going to happen again next year. They're going to get bounced again. It might be the second round this time instead of the first round, but they're going to get bounced. You know what I mean? Nick Nurse couldn't save that team. You know what I mean? So they gotta look long and hard in the mirror with what they want to do this offseason because I think, like I said, you land a guy like Paul George, great. If you could trade for a guy like a DeJounte Murray or something like that, that'd be great. You know what I mean? Fantastic. But if you can't pull those moves off, I would move Embiid and I would start all over and build around Maxey. That's what I would do if I was the GM. Because you're a GM, you gotta look at this like you gotta have a long-term vision for this. I mean, you gotta ask yourself, can I trust Joel Embiid to stay healthy long term? Can I trust it? And time and time and time and time and time again, Joel Embiid's shown you that the answer is no, that you can't trust him. So move him, cash in, I mean get a boatload of picks. And just blow that shit up, man. I mean blow it up, build around Maxey. Unless they can land a guy like a Paul George or something like that. If you can do that, fine. You know what I mean? But if they can't, blow it up. Okay, thoughts in Atlanta. Like that's another situation that needs to blow it up. I think they need to completely shake up that roster in Atlanta. I think to me, I would move Trae Young if I was the Hawks. I would trade Trae Young because him as your best player, it's really, really hard to win with him as your best player because he's small. I mean, he's miniature. I mean, he's a miniature point guard. And now, I know people are going to say, oh, look what the Knicks are doing with Jalen Brunson. Look what the Knicks are doing for Jalen Brunson. Yeah, Jalen Brunson's better than Trae Young. You know what I mean? Like, Trae Young is a negative defender. Like, Trae Young in defense, like, that's, wow. I mean, like, Trae Young is a horrible defender. I don't think that would work. For them as the best guy. I mean, like you just got to do a lot to like hide him on defense. I think they should build around DeJounte Murray. That's what I would do. I think DeJounte Murray showed you when Trae Young was out that he could have ran the show in Atlanta and ran it fine because I think the Hawks actually had a winning record when Trae Young missed games. You know what I mean? Like I don't know if I'm right about that, but they were at least playing better when Trae Young was out. You know what I mean? From what I remember last year. So, and DeJounte was running the show. I think they should move DeAndre Hunter. I think that experiment failed. I think Clint Capella. Basically, give more freedom to guys like Jalen Johnson, Okongwu. You know what I mean? Give more freedom to them guys. Move off guys like Clint Capella, DeAndre Hunter. You know what I mean? Like I would move off that. Okay, you said Trey's a Laker, close with Vando and Braun. Praised AD publicly in the past. His dad is even liking Laker trade tweets. I think that probably will happen, Boards. But let me ask you, as a Laker fan, does that move really do anything? If you trade Austin Reeves and Rui Hachimura and a bunch of first round picks for Trae Young, and then you have LeBron, Anthony Davis, and Trae Young and a bunch of minimum players, does that really do anything? Is that a needle mover? Is that a move you're going to be like, okay, yeah, we could definitely win the championship with this? Getting the duo ready for post Braun. I don't know if that duo is good enough, Boards, because I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Trae Young is such a negative on defense. Like, Trae Young is like that type of guy that'll score 25 on the offensive end, but give up like 30 on the other end. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta like really, really hide Trae Young in defense because teams will go at him. You see what you see what the Denver Nuggets did. I mean, they went at D'Lo. I mean, they went at that. They went at D'Lo, and they hunted him. I mean, like I think the same thing would happen with Trae Young. Trae Young is not good on defense, dude. I watched a good amount of Hawk games last year. Trae Young is not a good defender, bro. He's not a good defender. I mean, he's not. Trae Young is a terrible defender. And you want to know why Chicago blew out Atlanta in that playing game? Because they hunted Trae Young on defense. Period. They're going at Trae. And then, by the way, Trae played like absolute shit on offense in that game. So, like, that's just one game. But like I told you, I watched a good amount of Hawks games this year. Trae Young is not a good defender. He's not. He's not good. I think honestly, the Lakers should be going after DeJounte Murray like they're trying to do at the trade deadline. That's the move I would make. I would go get DeJounte Murray, not Trae Young. That's what I would do if I was the Lakers. I think DeJounte Murray is better than Trae Young. I know that might be a hot take, controversial. I'm just not a Trae Young guy. Like I don't think that highly of him. Yeah, Boards, and guess what? If you trade for DeJounte, chances are because he's not as big of a name as Trae Young, you might not have to give up Austin Reeves to get him. That might be really Hachimura plus something else and plus a boatload of picks. You know what I mean? That might be the package. Like if you give the Hawks like 3 first rounders or something like that, and really Hachimura, that deal could probably work. You know what I mean? I wouldn't give up. I wouldn't go for Trae if I was the Lakers, but I have this sneaky suspicion that's what they're going to end up doing, and I think it's going to backfire. Especially if they hire especially if they hire JJ Redick. I think that'd be one of the worst hires in NBA history if they hired JJ Redick to be the head coach. That would backfire so badly on them. I promise you it would. You know how Laker fans hated Darvin Ham? They be trying to run. They be trying to run JJ Redick out of there in 1 year too, just like they did with Darvin Ham. I mean, trust me, I'm telling you, man. Brooklyn tried this with Steve Nash. You know what I mean? They tried this. It's gonna be the same exact thing. Just because you're a good player, in the NBA does not mean you're gonna be a good head coach. Steve Nash, Hall of Famer, legend, horrible, horrible, horrible head coach. JJ Redick was a good player, not a Hall of Famer, but pretty good player, and he's a great analyst on ESPN. But as a head coach, no, I don't see it. I don't see him as being a leader of men. You know what I mean? Like you said, he would get bullied. I As a Celtics fan, I kind of hope they do hire JJ Redick a little bit. I think that'd be hilarious. But from an unbiased standpoint, I think that'd be a terrible hire. I really think that'd be like, man, that would be a god awful hire. That would be truly like horrific. So they should not do that. I think JJ Redick would be horrible. Um, Now Getting back. All right, let's do a segment now. This segment is where I pull up Twitter and see what NBA Twitter's talking about. So, okay. Oh, here's a good story that I just seen on Twitter. The Detroit Pistons are planning to pursue Bucks GM John Horst as their new president of basketball operations. You know, Detroit, and they paid Monty Williams, and they got Troy Weaver as head coach. Troy Weaver as head coach. I mean, as a GM. They need all the help they can get out there in Detroit with Cade and them. I mean, they need all the help they can get. So, Nate, will Horst leave Milwaukee? I'm reading the comments. A lot of Bucks fans want him gone. The Bucks fans want him gone. So, yeah, that should tell you everything you need to know. Nick Wright absolutely torched Patrick Beverly, by the way. I seen that. That was funny. Like Nick Wright took a torch to Patrick Beverly. That shit was fucking wow. Unreal. All right, let's see here. Searching Twitter machine. Bronny James has received an invite to the NBA Draft Combine. Now, it sounds like Bronny James is actually going to declare for the draft. Like he already did, but it sounds like he's going to stay in the draft. And the report came out that Lakers might use a first round pick on Bronny to keep LeBron in LA. I mean, I don't know. I didn't watch enough of Bronny in USC, but based off the stuff I read on him, he did have a down year. But I think you guys got to remember too. Last summer, I think he had a stroke. It was something like that. He had a very serious. He had a very serious medical condition before the basketball season started, and that kind of fucked up his season. At least that's what I'm reading. You know what I mean? That really screwed up his season. So as far as I'm concerned, like I don't know. You don't think they'll use a first rounder on him, but like maybe. I think it'd be a bad move to waste the first on him. Maybe a second rounder. But yeah, if they used the first round pick on Bronny. Yeah, okay. Cardiac arrest. Yeah, you're right. And I think that really screwed him up during the season. I think that did. I think that set him back this season, having that cardiac arrest. You know what I mean? I really believe that. So good call by you boards to point that out that he had that because yeah, I think that probably played a big factor in him not being as great as he could have been last season. Clutch probably figures out something for the Lakers. You don't think he gets drafted? Wow, you don't think Bronny gets drafted? That's interesting. I don't know. I don't know, man. I think someone will use a second round pick on him though. I mean, but you're right. Clutch Sports might scare teams off and say, "Don't draft Bronny; he won't play for you," or something like that. So, I could see that happening. Yeah, okay, boards. I get what you're saying. Like they could use like a scare tactic, be like, "Don't draft Bronny; he's not going to sign a contract with you guys," or something like that. You know what I mean? Like Reeves did. Oh shit! Austin Reeves really had stroke like that? Really? Austin Reeves had power like that? He had movement? He was able to dictate where he got drafted? Damn, that's crazy. Austin Reeves really had power, man. Good for him. He actually had power in dictating where he can get drafted. That's wild. That's wild. Nah, I don't remember that. I don't remember him I don't remember anything about him rejecting Pistons, but I believe you. I'm sure he did. Dude, Chris Broussard's an idiot. Chris Broussard is a fucking idiot. He said that Jalen Brunson's not a superstar. Listen, how I feel about small point guards. I think it's very hard to win with a small point guard as your best player. But Jalen Brunson's a superstar, man. Jalen Brunson has averaged 40 over these past like 4 games. He scored 40 points in the last 3 games. You're telling me that guy's not a superstar? Now, I'm not sure if they beat Indiana, or I know for damn sure they're not. I don't think they're beating Celtics if the Celtics advance to the conference finals. But you're trying to tell me that Jalen Brunson's not a superstar? Like Chris Broussard, man, I don't get I don't get where they find these people. I mean, they pay these people millions of dollars to say this shit. By the way, I mean, so if Jalen Brunson's not a superstar, then who's a superstar then? I mean, I think Brunson is. I do. I think Jalen Brunson is a superstar because he shows up when it matters. I mean, he willed the Knicks to win that series. By the way, I mean he willed the Knicks that series. So as far as I'm concerned, he is a superstar. Let's see here. The Jimmy Butler. Oh, okay. The Jimmy Butler era in Miami could be nearing a tipping point. Quote, there are murmurings this year that Butler and the Heat may no longer be singing from the same. Basically, they're on. Basically, they might not be on the same page. Famously, does not. Let me try reading this again. Bear with me, guys. Okay. The Jimmy Butler era in Miami could be nearing a tipping point. Quote, there are murmurings this year that Butler and the Heat no longer may be on the same page. Butler famously does things his way, and Miami's organization famously does not brook much individualism. Whoever wrote this fucking article, fuck you. With these big ass fancy words. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you, man? You just fucking say it normally. Jimmy Butler and Miami Heat might not be on the same page with each other. Is that hard to say? Like, come on. Oh man, using all these fucking big words. I mean, they might not. They're not on the same page. Period. Fucking stupid. But here's my reaction to this. Jimmy Butler could end up. I don't know. Because Jimmy Butler seems like a guy that is like a Heat lifer. I don't know. He just seems like one of them guys that won't leave. But if he does, it wouldn't shock me. I mean, like it wouldn't shock me, man, if he left Miami. Or but it also wouldn't shock me if he signed an extension. I want to clip this to upload, so I think I'm gonna try this one more time. Guys, this like me editing a video and trying to read it over again so I can put it on YouTube as a actual upload. Okay. The Jimmy Butler era in Miami could be nearing a tipping point. Quote, there are being rumblings this year that Jimmy Butler and the Heat are no longer on the same page. Butler famously does things his way, and Miami's organization famously does not brook much individualism. Again, them big fucking fancy words. But getting back to what I was saying, the Miami Heat are in a very tricky spot because, like, Woj said earlier this month that the Miami Heat want to trade for a star in Bam Adebayo's age range. Basically, that screams Donovan Mitchell. Like, I think that's who Miami wants. So do they use Jimmy Butler in a trade to acquire Donovan Mitchell because they might not have enough to get Donovan Mitchell from Cleveland? Now, I'm not saying that they're going to trade Jimmy Butler to Cleveland. What I'm saying is, could they talk with Jimmy Butler and be like, "Hey, Jimmy Butler, like, tell us the team that you want to go to for a trade, and we'll trade you there so we can land Donovan Mitchell." The Heat get younger. I mean, Bam and Butler Bam and Mitchell is a younger duo. And is Mitchell a playoff riser like Butler? I don't know. He's shown at some points he can be. Then there's some games where he's pretty bad. But, like, man, boards. Tyler Hero doesn't have any trade value, man. How many off seasons now have the Miami Heat tried to trade Tyler Hero for a star and it's went nowhere? They don't have no assets, man. Like Tyler Hero, come on, man. Tyler Hero, really, bro? Tyler Hero ain't moving no needle, man. He ain't. He ain't doing nothing for no team. Tyler Hero ain't doing shit for them. But yeah, Jimmy Butler. There apparently this is some saga over a contract dispute. He wants a full max contract. There's some rumblings that Miami doesn't want to give him a full max contract, so we'll see where it goes. If I had to take a guess, I think the Miami Heat will keep Jimmy Butler. I think they'll sign him to an extension. I think they'll end up trying to trade for Donovan Mitchell and maybe Tyler Hero does get a deal done, but I have a lot of doubt about that. I don't know if teams want Tyler Hero. You know what I mean? 'Cause Tyler Hero has a big contract, and Tyler Hero, honestly, it's kind of hard to win with him. You know what I mean? His style of play. You know what I mean? Because if he ain't hitting jumpers, then what does he do? You know what I mean? Like that's kind of my thing with Trae Young. If he's not hitting jumpers, what's he do? You know what I'm saying? So, and he's a horrible defender too. So it'd be hard. It'd be really, really hard to trade Tyler Hero for Donovan Mitchell. But there's also talk that Jimmy Butler, that the Philadelphia 76ers could want Jimmy Butler from the Sixers. Now, what does Philadelphia have to trade Miami for Jimmy Butler, and why would Miami trade Jimmy Butler to Philadelphia? So that's why I think it's very unlikely that that happens. Got your ringer on like an old what? Like an older person. What the fuck you talking about, man? Talking about I got my ringer on. Duh. I don't know, like I think I think you're supposed to have your ringer on. You need to be notified when shit's going on. But yeah, Jimmy Butler, I think yeah. If he ended up in Philadelphia, that'd be a really good move for Philly, but I don't think that's going to happen because I don't think Miami would want to trade Jimmy Butler to Philadelphia. So I just don't see that happening. I don't see a move like that happen. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think that's gonna happen. Okay. Darvin Ham is still viewed as a head coaching candidate around the league, pure Woj. Darvin Ham expected to have head coaching candidate elsewhere in this league, whether that's in this cycle or future. Wow. Um, I think Donovan Mitchell ain't out. Spidey Mitchell ain't he ain't. Let me see. Donovan Mitchell ain't out. Oh, oh my god, bro. Oh my god. Bro, are you kidding me, man? Are you kidding me? Oh my god, boards. You gotta be fudging kidding me. Oh my god. I can't believe I fell for that. I'm gonna try reading the Jimmy Butler thing one more time because I want to upload it as a video and actually give some reasonable like analysis on it. So I'm gonna try the Jimmy Butler thing one more time. Okay, the Jimmy Butler era in Miami could be nearing a tipping point. There have been murmurings this year that Jimmy Butler and the Heat are no longer on the same page. Butler famously does things his way, and Miami organization famously does not brook much individualism. Listen, man, Jimmy Butler, I think Jimmy Butler, he's getting older. So if you're the Heat, you gotta be like, man, do I want to pay this guy all this money? You know what I mean? When he's getting older and he's injury prone, and there's been rumblings that they want to try to get an all-star in Bam Adebayo's age range, like a Donovan Mitchell per se. So could there be like a 3-team deal where Donovan Mitchell gets traded to the Heat, and then Jimmy Butler maybe gets traded to another team, and then Cleveland gets all the draft picks from that move or something like that? Like I could see maybe a team like let me think of some teams that Jimmy Butler would be good on. I think maybe Philadelphia, that obviously comes to mind, but what does Philadelphia have to trade? I mean, there's rumblings that maybe could the Lakers maybe go get Jimmy Butler? I mean, if they want to come off Austin Reeves and Rui Hachimura and some picks for Jimmy Butler, there's maybe that happens. Maybe I don't know. The Sacramento Kings would be pretty cool. You know what I mean, for Jimmy Butler, I think that could be an interesting move. So, I mean, there's spots for Jimmy Butler if he were to get traded. But the Heat got to decide, man. Do I want to give Jimmy Butler, who's getting older and who's injury prone, that big of a contract? So, I mean, we'll have to see, man. But the Miami Heat, I just find it hard. I just see it like as a very hard thing to see them trading Jimmy Butler, just because he just seems like one of them guys that Pat Riley would love. I mean, like would want to build around until he retires. You know what I mean? So, but hey, man, he let Dwayne Wade leave. If you guys remember correctly, Dwayne Wade didn't finish like he finished his career in Miami, but he played at Chicago and Cleveland for like a minute. I mean, so Pat Riley in the past has not been afraid to let players leave the Heat. You know what I mean? So does he let Jimmy Butler leave? Does he trade Jimmy Butler like to facilitate getting a younger guy next to Bam Adebayo like Donovan Mitchell? I mean, it's possible. I mean, it is what it is. Um, we'll have to see. But yeah, man, I think Jimmy Butler that could be fascinating, but I don't think Jimmy Butler's going anywhere. So yeah, fascinating situation. We'll have to see what comes of that. Now, on to the reports now, because I know I did that on purpose because I'm gonna use that as an upload. I'm gonna make a video out of that. All right, so Board, you're gonna love this report. As I was reading, Darvin Ham is still viewed as a head coaching candidate around the league, per Woj. Darvin Ham is expected to be a head coaching candidate elsewhere in this league, where it's in this cycle or the future. Darvin Ham coming back as a head coach again. I don't know. I don't know because I'm all for giving guys a second chance, but like I think Darvin Ham did such a crappy job, man. Like I don't think a team should hire him right now as an assistant coach. Yeah, I mean I think Darvin Ham would be a fine assistant coach, but man, hiring him as a head coach, unless it's for a like a rebuilding team, like the Wizards or the Hornets, sure. I mean, fine. I mean, Tho those are the type of teams that Darvin Ham should be looking at right now. But like any contender, no way, no chance in hell. But a nice little rebuilding team like the Wizards or something like that, sure, like that, fine. Like Lakers reportedly want Denver's top assistant. They honestly, I wouldn't hate it. I wouldn't hate it. I wouldn't hate trying to steal the Nuggets top assistant after the Nuggets have owned the Lakers. So maybe they can get some tips on how maybe they can guard Jokic or come up with game plans against Denver. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't hate it. And Minnesota's, I think the Lakers are going to interview a lot of people, but ultimately, just seeing the setup, they're going to hire JJ Redick. I'm telling you guys, they're gonna do the horrible move. They're going to hire JJ Redick. They're going to hire. Watch. I bet you guys they hire JJ Redick. Watch. Just watch. I bet they hired JJ Redick. Okay. Tobias Harris is expected to leave to Philadelphia. Shit, Philadelphia should kick him out. Like, bye. Get the hell out of here. Okay. Carmelo Anthony believes kids have shifted from wanting to be like Steph Curry to wanting to be like Paul George. Where is all this Paul George shit came from? Because now all these younger NBA players are now saying that Paul George is like the greatest of all time. I think what it is the play style of Paul George. I think younger, like especially big wings, they look at Paul George's game and be like, yeah, I want to play like that. You know what I mean? So I think that's where that comes from. But it's still wild that everyone that now we're going from Steph Curry has changed the game to now Paul George. Now everyone wants to be like Paul George. And you're right, it is from looking flashy. But like, is Paul George? I look at Paul George's game as more smooth than flashy. To be honest with you, like Paul George's a really good defender. He's long. I mean, he's athletic, great defender. Like, has no bag, just makes tough shots. Yeah, yeah, you're right. Then he doesn't really have a bag. Then I mean, or he's not really flashy. He's just the guy hitting tough shots. All right. Stephen A. Smith thinks it's time for the Bucks to trade Damian Lillard. Quote, my belief is that the Bucks should trade Damian Lillard. He was on record talking on how life was a bit rough in Milwaukee. See, this is the bullshit lies by Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith is such a bullshitter, dude. He is. And then let me finish the quote. We all know he wanted Miami. He wanted Miami, but Damian Lillard has literally came out and said last night and this morning, it was some interview that he said, yeah, I want to run it back with the Bucks. Like, or I'm excited to come back next year as a Buck. Like, listen, man, Stephen A., we all know that you want Damian Lillard in Miami. Just say that. You know what I mean? Just like you want Devin Booker in New York. You made up that bullshit about Devin Booker wanting to be in New York. You made up this bullshit now about Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard called you a liar when you tried saying the same shit earlier this year. You know what I mean? About him wanting to leave Milwaukee. Damian Lillard already said you're a liar. I mean, maybe at first Damian Lillard didn't want to go to Milwaukee, but I think Damian Lillard is motivated to stay in Milwaukee now to try to give it one more year with Giannis. So, and then plus Damian Lillard was going through a nasty divorce off the court, and that's why maybe he didn't seem as happy or like as motivated basketball wise because he was going through a lot of deep personal shit off the court. You know what I mean? So Stephen A. Smith, dude, Stephen A. Smith is such a bullshitter. He really is. Have I seen a SmackDown vid? Yes, dude. From what I hear, board that French crowd that's where SmackDown was today. That France crowd was amazing. From what I heard, it's like people are saying it's like one of the greatest crowds ever for a wrestling show. Like, I'm not gonna tell you any spoilers because I did see some videos, but I'm not gonna tell you. But all I'm gonna say is that crowd was amazing from what I seen. Like that crowd was on fire. That from the clips I watched, like that crowd was amazing. Great crowd. You know what I noticed about wrestling shows? The international crowds are always way better than the U.S. crowds. Because I think in international, they're more passionate about wrestling than America is. You know what I mean? I think they're just more passionate over there in overseas. You know what I mean? They're just way more passionate than Americans are about wrestling. That's why I think when the crowds are like 100 times better overseas. Okay. All right, back to basketball now. James Harden says there's no pressure on the Clippers. Quote, all the pressure is on them to win the game. James Harden, there's pressure on you all because you all built this team, built this super team. You are getting older. You guys have to for James Harden to say there's no pressure on the Clippers is stupid and ridiculous. There's so much pressure on the Clippers to win this year because the Clippers, I'm telling you the truth, they're an old team. You know what I mean? They're not that team ain't getting any younger. I mean, like that, there's a lot of pressure on the Clippers to win. You know what I mean? So for James Harden to say there's no pressure on the Clippers, I think that's stupid. I really do. I think it's fucking stupid. There's a ton of pressure on James Harden to win this year. A ton. So, and the Clippers, Paul George, them guys. You could say they have no Kawhi, but again, like there's been like we've been hearing the no Kawhi excuse for how many years now? Like man, I don't want to hear that, James Harden. There's pressure on you all. You know what I mean, don't come out here and try masking it by saying, "Oh, all the pressure's on them to win the game." Sure, there's always pressure on teams to close the series out, but for them to say there's no pressure is absolutely foolishness, man. It really is. Kyrie Irving says he definitely, Board, you're going to love this report. Kyrie Irving says he definitely considered reuniting with LeBron James last season, but he suggests asking the GMs why it didn't work out. Quote, everything was considered. He's a great friend of mine, a great brother of mine. We obviously played together in Cleveland. Everyone knows our history, but there were so many different factors in between. When it comes to business decisions, you have to ask the GMs, the presidents, and why certain things didn't work out. What I think Kyrie's talking about there is when he was in Brooklyn. If you guys remember correctly, before he went to Dallas, Kyrie Irving like requested a trade at the trade deadline that year that he got traded to Dallas. And I think his number one goal was to get to the Lakers. I think that's what he was trying to do. So I think that was a shot at Brooklyn. That's what I think that was. I don't think that was a shot at Dallas. I think that was a shot at Brooklyn because Kyrie told Brooklyn that, yeah, I want to go to the Lakers. And they shipped Kyrie to Dallas instead. You know what I mean? So Kyrie, how would it shaken out if Kyrie went to the Lakers? I mean, obviously, it's a way better upgrade over D'Angelo Russell. I'll tell you that much. You know what I mean? Like, it's not even close. I mean, Kyrie Irving wipes the floor with D'Angelo Russell. So I think the Lakers would have been better. Do they still beat Denver in a series? Do they beat Denver in a series with Kyrie instead of D'Lo? I mean, it's possible, but here's the thing. Actually, that's honestly a good question. Do the Lakers beat the Denver Nuggets in a series if they have Kyrie Irving instead of D'Angelo Russell? I got to really think about that. I really do. I think that Jamal Murray versus Kyrie in a playoff series would have been something to watch. I'll tell you that. Lakers replaced D'Lo with Kai. They would have won the title last year. Maybe. You all definitely would have beaten Miami. That's for sure. Miami was trash last year. I mean, the fact they got to the finals was embarrassing, just because they had stepped on Tatum's ankle. But yeah, you all would have definitely beaten Miami last year. You all probably would have beaten Miami even with D'Lo instead of Kyrie. I mean, but the thing is, I still think y'all would have went to war with Denver. I still think that series would be a 7-game series. I mean, but who knows, man? That's a great what if. What if Kyrie ended up going to the Lakers instead of Dallas? How would have that changed this year and last year? Just fascinating to think about. Okay, ESPN Tim McMahon suggests that the Suns could improve the roster by trading Kevin Durant and reaching out to Oklahoma City. I think the best way for the Suns to certainly not what Matt Ishbia wants to hear, and that would be to trade Kevin Durant. There's still. Let me read this. Let me read the shit again because these reporters are using these big words, man. Okay, quote. I think. Okay, all right, hold on here. Tim McMahon suggests that the Suns could improve the roster by trading Kevin Durant and reaching out to Oklahoma City. Okay. Quote, I think the best way out for the Suns is certainly not what the owner wants to hear, and that would be to trade Kevin Durant. There would still be plenty of interest in Kevin Durant. My first phone call probably would be to his original home. I don't know what Oklahoma City's interest would be, but I could convince myself that'd be one hell of a fit there, and I wouldn't be, and it wouldn't be about the players you're getting back, obviously, but the picks in that case. I think that's a fun scenario to think about because Kevin Durant, honestly, him going back to Oklahoma City would be a great full circle moment. Now, what would Oklahoma City have to trade the Phoenix for Kevin Durant? They're definitely not trading SGA. They're definitely not trading Chet Holmgren. Do they move J-Dub? Do they move J-Dub and Josh Giddey and draft picks for KD? Is that the move? You know what I mean? Like Josh Giddey and J-Dub and some picks for KD? I think that means shit. Why not? You know what I mean? I think that'd be a cool move for both teams. Suns get some good players and they get some good draft picks and they get Kevin and the Thunder get Kevin Durant. He gets to go back home to Oklahoma City. Why not? I mean, I think that'd be pretty cool. I think that'd be a cool little move. But I just don't see Phoenix doing that. I think the Suns are going to try to run it back with Booker, KD, and Bradley Beal another season and see where it goes. For me, I don't think that's the right move. I don't think that's the move they should do. But the owner of the Phoenix Suns, he sounds delusional. I mean, he sounds like a guy that actually believes that this team could actually work. So I don't listen, man. I don't think that I don't think the Suns are going to make that move. I think they're going to run it back with the same team they have. Hello. Okay. Let me see if there's anything else. Oh, here's something. Charles Barkley says that he'll be a free agent if TNT loses NBA rights, noting that inside the NBA won't be the same without Ernie Johnson, who won't leave Turner. A decision is expected today. Now, Ernie Johnson and inside the NBA, that's, to me, without Ernie Johnson, that show would suck. I mean, so I don't know. Man. I think, yeah. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about that, to be honest with you. I don't. Barkley said he'd be a free agent. I don't know what Barkley would do then. Would Barkley join? Because it's being reported that they might do something with Amazon, NBC. You know what I mean? Like, would Barkley join like NBC or Amazon? Maybe. I don't. I really don't want Charles Barkley in ESPN because I think what happened. Oh yeah, shit. Yeah, that's right. Oh, she's doing good. Thanks for asking. Yeah, she's doing okay. Yeah, now I remember. Okay. Hey, what's up? Yeah, I remember. Yeah, she's doing good. Uh but yeah, I think I think Barkley, it would suck to see inside the NBA get broken up, be honest with you guys. That would be really sad. I hope that don't happen, but it's probably gonna happen because the NBA, they're all about money and they're gonna fucking break that shit up. You know what I mean, if it makes them the most money. So I mean, we'll see. But yeah, man. See anything else? And that's it, guys. I'm good with that. I think we can end it on that, man. Let me know what you guys think about this, man. Smash that like button, man. Hit that subscribe button, man. I'll be back on here in a couple days. What do you guys think, man? All right, peace.